What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Cult DeFi. This is the channel where we bring you really the latest and greatest innovations in tech in decentralized finance, quite specifically on Pulse Chain, but even more specifically in the Dev Jacob ecosystem on Pulse Chain. What we try to do here really is showcase, teams and tech that really what it means to be true DeFi, things that exemplify true DeFi. And we have a special guest with us on today, and we're going to be talking about an area of Pulse Chain that I don't really delve into too much. I mean, I know about it. I follow, a lot of people on X, and I see a few videos every now and again. And I have been watching a few of this guy's videos, and I just had to reach out to him really because I think that the stuff that he's into is quite interesting to me, and we'll find out a bit more about him as the conversation develops. But he talks to a lot of people that I don't really talk to, and I get to see another side of Pulse Chain, another completely other community in Pulse Chain that I don't really have. It's not that I don't have the time to look into it. I suppose it's not really that, but nothing really has sort of absolutely grabbed my attention yet. I mean, obviously we know things about Teddy Bear and Tropa and PDI and all this sort of stuff, and it's really the conversation that I kind of want to have with him. And then obviously he's a big Metaverse fan, so I wanted to introduce him to Mafia too, right? So without any further ado, I'll bring on my buddy Stephen. How you doing, man?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. As I was telling you in the green room, I'm running on fumes from last night. But like you said, there's no time for rest in the bull market, right? And the bull market is here, I think.
There really isn't. Yeah, I was actually away recently, and one of the promises that I made to myself when I got back, I was like, okay, I'm going to stream less and I'm going to focus less on crypto. And it's been the opposite. Too many things happening. So, yeah.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain, but it's good, right? I mean, really exciting times. I mean, you're quite big in the Atropa ecosystem, right? You talk to a lot of people over there. You stream a lot about Atropa and what's happening. And I saw a tweet, a post on X, I think it was yesterday, from the Atropa dev saying this: PDI could peg by Christmas.
Yeah, that's what he seems to think. I think he's a little crazy, to be honest, but I think, yeah, there's this big split in everyone that's into PDI, whether some people think it's going to happen more like over a longer period of time, more organically, and some people are like, well, if Richard Hart's behind it, he can just peg it tomorrow. So, yeah, I sit in the first camp, and I think, if Richard Hart's behind it anyway, then he's just going to do it whichever way is the best way for the ecosystem. So I'm just chilling out, not getting involved in the drama. So
that's exactly it, right? I really try to stay away from all of that sort of drama. It's fun to watch, right? Don't get me wrong. It's fun to watch, and every now and again I might pitch in something. But we have more than enough drama over here in Mafia. I mean, Mafia is like a kill and be killed game, and in the telegrams, I mean, those boys are going at it like proper. They're really going for it.
Nice.
Yeah. So what is it about the Atropa ecosystem that you really like?
Oh boy. Okay. So, well, first, like one of the things that you started when we was talking in backstage where you were watching that video. So from that video today, one of the guys, I think it was Fast Abdul, was saying that, or it could have been Steady Pup, that you pretty much kind of just have to find your area. There's so many opportunities on Pulse Chain, so you kind of have to find your area and you stick with it. And so even yourself, you're at the start, you said, oh, there's too much going on over there. You just can't pay attention to everything, right? It's just impossible. So it just happened to be the thing that I naturally gravitated towards. I think just because I've studied architecture, I love problem solving. I used to be really good at maths. I'm not saying I'm bad at maths, but I'm not like dev level math level. But because of that, and then what I was seeing with the Atropa ecosystem, it really fascinated me. This whole mystery of what's going on. Nobody knew who the dev was. Well, I think actually at that time the dev was like revealed to the world. So it was just this big mystery with something that was unique in the fact that it was a collection of tokens. It wasn't just this is the one token and all the energies around this one token and we've built something around it and let's build this up. It was actually a system of tokens that were interrelated in really unique and interesting ways. And that's what kind of really gripped me into it, that there was literally, I think at the time, probably between 80 to 100 different Atropa ecosystem tokens. So, and I don't even know all of them. There's so many. Some of them do nothing. Some of them are like counterpoints to other particular tokens. It's all just about liquidity and ratios. But the thing that I as an architect really love is understanding like big things. So I'm interested in like the global economy and how things work on a macro level. So it just really kind of appealed to my nature, I suppose you could say. So there was just a lot of things that were really appealing to my character, and so I just went down the rabbit hole, and I haven't stopped since. And I everything that's happening on Pulse Chain, I'm looking at them like, great, they're doing good. That's exactly what we want. We want all these different ways to appeal to as many people as possible. So for me, it's awesome. But just like you, it's like I've only got so much time in the day to, to look at all these things. So yeah.
And so how did you find your way into Pulse Chain? Like, are you a hexagon from way back?
Yes. So day one hexagon. And one of my best friends from university got me into Hex, and he introduced me to Richard Hart. And at the time, we were, I didn't really know anything about Richard Hart, and he just said, just put a little bit in. And so we did put a little bit in, and I was sort of almost going to ape in a little. Like I think we ended up putting in, like 0.2 Ethereum or something at the time, just something minuscule. I was going to put in like 3 or 4, and he was like, "Oh, don't put in that much." I wish I did. But then again, like, things happen for a reason, right? If I put in that much, I might have ended up sort of selling on like a 3x or something like this and been completely out. So long story short, obviously Hex led me to Pulse Chain, sacrifice for Pulse Chain, sacrifice for Pulse X. And just been day one. And like probably, I don't know what you were like. I'd be interested to know what you were like actually. But when Pulse first launched, there was this huge fear for me of like, I don't want to part with a single one of these tokens. I've waited like a year and a half now for this Pulse Chain to come out. I've sacrificed for it. I just want to accumulate more Pulse. And I was like very precious with it for a long time. And until I obviously found the Atropa ecosystem, and I just started to dabble, and the dabbling became more and more and more. And now I'm almost probably sort of maxing into that ecosystem. So yeah, what about yourself? I'd be curious to know I know this is your audience, but I've got my audience here as well. So I'd be curious, like, what was it like for you when Pulse Chain launched? Were you like very tight with your bags? Did you sacrifice or?
I found Hex through Randy Hilarski. Actually, just on YouTube,
Randy.
Randy's responsible for all of this. So thanks, Randy.
Nice.
Yeah. So I found Randy back. I mean, really, I started buying Hex. I started buying Hex when it was about 20 cents, and when it was on the way down. Right, that's around the time I got in. Right, it was on the way. Sure. It was on the way down. But and I have a bunch of Hex, Quattro Cinco Club back then. And I started riding it down, and I think at the time I got just on the tail end of the Pulse Chain sacrifice, right? But the Pulse X sacrifice was still going, so. Sacrifice for that. I sacrificed actually for quite a few projects around, Liquid Loans, PulsePot, all of those type of things, Mintra, a bunch of those. And when Pulse Chain eventually came around, I had, obviously we had this airdrop of all these extra tokens, these free tokens, and I started kind of playing with those a little bit. I mean, I bumped up my back. I don't know if you know KvltDeFi. I have a bunch of KvltDeFi. So when I got the copy, I started buying a bunch more of those in the hope that, nothing is still really happening, but hey, I think the protocol itself, KvltDeFi, I think it's really great. I think it really has legs. They're talking about doing their own blockchain, but at the same time, they have a fantastic community. And as soon as their community find out about Pulse, about the copy that they have over here on Pulse Chain, I think we'll start to see quite a big wave of the KvltDeFi community coming over, because they're, Pulse Chain is exactly the kind of blockchain that they want, that they need. They're absolutely all about decentralization. They're absolute DeFi nerds, if you look at it that way. And I don't say nerd, I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. Actually, I think they're exactly the kind of people that we want over here. And I think it's only a matter of time before we get them.
Yeah, it's really interesting. All the PRC20 copies. I mean, there's a whole world there that's just waiting to open up. And even from the perspective of DeFi, that's also another thing which really attracted me to the Atropa ecosystem. When I first started learning about it, the dev was talking about it as having all the instruments of a financial ecosystem. So, for example, just the other day, he burnt like over $1 million worth of tokens, and then he minted $7.7 million of tokens, and then pumped different aspects of the ecosystem. So one of them was Teddy Bear, for example. So just seeing like, oh, he's doing what the Federal Reserve does to basically like, or like global markets do to stimulate certain parts of the economy. So it's this really, really fascinating system. So yeah, sorry to sidetrack there, but yeah.
Oh no, not at all, man. It's
so.
Yeah, there really is a hell of a lot going on. I mean, one of the things that brought me to, I mean, Dev Jacob, right? The Dev Jacob sort of ecosystem. It started with PulsePot, you know, PulsePot really world's first truly decentralized player versus player casino on chain. It's literally players and smart contracts. You know, there's no house, there's no anything like that. Started following Jacob, obviously because of that project, and then I started to get to know the team a bit, and then you know, the community, and pretty active in the telegrams. And Jacob started, I mean, he's got every project that he has, or a protocol that he has, starts with a whiteboard and a pen, you know, and he's like, okay, what can I do? And it's like everything he does is really, he tries to do real DeFi like it's supposed to be, you know. And I'm drawn to that. And I think the reason that we're here on Pulse Chain is because 95% of us are drawn to real decentralization. You know, we want to be able to do whatever we want to do with our money. It's quite simple, really. And having protocols like that, and having, I mean, I sort of big them up a little bit when I do these streams, but I'm not doing it. I'm doing it really from the heart. I mean it. I think we need more developers and more teams out there to really push this DeFi, the DeFi aspect. And I think that's exactly what we have sort of in line with the Atropa ecosystem and the devs and stuff over there, and the community over there. You know, I think the closer we get to Richard Hart being in comms with us again, and I think, you know, it's largely still with the court case, but I think the closer we get to that, I think this is absolutely going to blow out of the water, man. Like I try to explain to people how bullish I am about it, and I think some of them think I'm fake about it, but I'm really not. Like this is the can of worms is going to open soon, and it's absolutely going to explode.
I completely agree, and I think, do you know Rackham Michelle?
Yeah, Rackham's back. Yeah, I was actually chatting to him as well. I was on Telegram. Actually, again, about some of the protocols that we have.
Okay. Oh, what's his perspective on? Like, do you get along well with him, or?
No, I mean, we've exchanged a few messages here and there. It's sort of few and far between. I don't think Rackham personally now. I mean, Rackham, if you're out there watching, maybe I'm totally wrong, and you can reach out and you can tell me. But I don't think he's in a position yet to make a real footprint on Pulse Chain. I think he's sort of holding back a bit because there's a lot of things are still kind of up in the air. And, you know, for someone, I wanted to say, I mean, maybe not his caliber, maybe that's the wrong word, but I think someone in his position within the community, I think he needs to be very, very, very careful what he does, because, you know what it's like in this community. People argue amongst themselves anyway. It's like a bunch of siblings arguing. You know, even though we all have the same cause and we're all from the same family, right? So I think it's very easy to piss people off over here. So I think he needs to tread lightly just at the moment, just to see, you know, to see where we actually go.
But even exactly, and that's pretty much the point that I wanted to make, that with all these different factors that are kind of suppressing us, the really big players are kind of waiting on those factors to kind of iron out first before they can really start to, because I'm sure they'll have friends and their network that would want to come in, but they're looking at it like, oh, I'm not too sure. Same as when you said you've got people that think you're crazy, and I'm exactly the same. I get people that think I'm crazy as well. So I'm impressed that you, with your experience with Hex, that you still had the conviction to stay around, because I mean, all my friends that I got in that were buying as it was going down, like, they have a very negative spin on on Hex, but they never really looked into who Richard Hart was. They just, the price was going down, and that's it. That's how they.
Yeah.
That's how they.
No, I have. I mean, I have to say, I have a very long-term mindset in all of this. I think I'm old enough and wise enough to know that if you want something built right, it takes time. It really takes time, right? You don't start growing vines and start producing wine in a year or two, right? It takes time. It takes time for things to mature. And I think with this court case, I mean, really, with this court, this is the best marketing possible for Pulse Chain. And I think Richard's he's in a position where if he wanted to just disappear, he could. We could just say, oh no, you guys, I'm going to leave it to you guys. But no, he's actually taken the fight to the SEC. Right, and for sure, I mean, he's got the money. People say rumored billionaire. I say rumored richest man in the world, actually, on paper, at some stage. At the height of the markets, I mean, the guy's got some serious bags, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he quote unquote owns the OA bags, then yeah, on paper he would have been the richest person on the planet by a long shot when Hex was at its all-time high. So
yeah, so I mean, like we have to wait and see. Me personally, I mean, like I say, I'm Quattro Cinco, so I'm here for the duration. I'm here at the start of all these new projects. I'm really excited that I'm at the start of Pulse Chain, like a chain which has a fantastic community. There's always going to be bickering, always. You're always going to have that. We've got a few thousand people here. Of course, there's going to be people arguing, right? You can't keep everybody happy all the time. That's the first rule of management. You just can't keep everybody happy all the time. So I think we're going to get there. We are going to get there. It's about what you do to fill your time in the meantime. If you want quick wins, there are quick wins out there. There really is. You can make money if you look in the right places.
There's heaps. There's so many. It's like an abundance of opportunity. That's what I'm seeing on Pulse Chain at the moment. So, and I was speaking to a couple of devs a few days ago. Really awesome people, and they've been on multiple chains. Let's say maybe 20 plus between the two of them, and they're like, both resoundingly were saying nothing even comes close to the spirit of the community of Pulse Chain. Like nothing even comes close. Everything is so, even these DeFi blockchains are just, they're very centralized. You have to answer to somebody, you have to answer to like an organization, and there's kind of like a boys club with the people who are high. There's like a hierarchy, and if you're not in the boys club, then your projects won't get through. Whereas this is really like, everybody's just doing whatever the hell they want. They have the absolute freedom to do and say what they want on this chain. And I just think, I'm the same as you. Like, I have that long-term mindset perspective. So even if we don't melt faces this particular bull run, I'm still looking at it like we're still going to do fine in the long run. If it takes 1 cycle, 2 cycles, 3 cycles, this energy won't die. This energy can't die. It's just too strong. So that's how I feel about it also.
Yeah, exactly right. It's just keep on building, right? This is the time to build.
Exactly.
It's quite simple, really. We have a brand new chain. We still need a hell of a lot of infrastructure. Obviously we need all the fun stuff too. Like, hey, I know there's a lot of people that really hate the whole meme thing. Hey, look, it all adds to the flavor, right?
It does.
If we want a real functioning chain with a hell of a lot of people, we have to cater for everybody's taste, everyone's taste. Whether that be, the hardcore guys who like the Signum Oracle guys are doing fantastic now. Signum Oracle pre-sale is on. Anyone out there who doesn't know, decentralized Oracle on Pulse Chain, we have one. It's coming, and I know there's a hell of a lot of projects and protocols that are waiting for an Oracle to come around. It's been a long time coming, but it's here now, right? It started. I think January is actually going to be official launch. Now is the pre-sale. I think I hope you don't mind, because I know you've got a bunch of your people in here as well.
Please, yeah.
If so, anyone that wants to have a look at Signum, right? Signum Oracle is an Oracle actually is a huge infrastructure step that Pulse Chain needs. It really needs it. So many protocols are waiting for it. There's a pre-sale is on now. Basically, I think whatever you buy in the pre-sale, you're getting like a 10% discount on the actual token price at launch, right? So you can get in there. You can with this Oracle, you can download a little piece of software, you can become a reporter for the Oracle itself, and you will get rewards being a good reporter, right? So it's basically like being a validator, I guess. You can look at it like being a post-chain validator. And Fast Abdul has said previously that he thinks that the reporters for Signum, when Signum starts, really kicking off, that they could actually be making more money than you would earn being a validator on post-chain. I mean, for anyone out there that might be interested in the tech side of the blockchain, go and have a look at that. I think it's literally just signumoracle.com, right? Go over there and have a look. You can even download some test tokens right now and mess around with it if you want. I personally think it's a huge step forward. So anyone in post-chain, if you like what we do and you want post-chain to start doing well, go and have a look at Signum. Jump into Telegrams and have a chat with the boys. I'm going to be doing a live next week with Stu, the guy behind it, and Tetra Labs. I've streamed with him before, but I'm going to be streaming with him again next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. I like what those guys are doing. We're going to get there,
Nice. Yeah, nice. I was communicating with a dev who was trying to fix the do you remember the LUSD fiasco? There was the issues with the Oracle there. I was talking to a dev who was trying to fix all of that. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but it's fun. You just like you feel like you're part of something that you're contributing to the blockchain. You don't really have to do much. You're running the code, and then you're getting rewards, and then you've got these rewards that you can speculate on with the price charts. It's actually it's just another little fun side thing that you can just keep an eye on, and you don't really have to do much for it. So yeah, and then plus it's really like, wow, I'm actually part of this. Like I feel like I'm part of this decentralized financial system. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's what we like over here, in Hexaco or Pulsico, whatever you want to call it these days. It's, everybody does their little bit, whether or not, it's just engaging in other people's chats, engaging in people's telegrams, finding out what's going on, right? I mean, I think the best questions to have over here is, hey, what's going on? Tell me, let me know what's happening in your world, because we are all part of one big family. And we have all these different little pockets of stuff that's going on. Obviously, it's inevitable that we will have competing protocols, because even when we get the infrastructure out there, there's going to be 2 or 3 oracles, I'm sure, even more, or 2 or 3 different types of one game, or 2 or 3 different types of whatever, the Aave of Pulse Chain. There might be 5 or 6 of them in time. And we need it all, right? Because, like I say, it all adds to the flavor. We absolutely really need it all, and I think we're going to get it. We're going to get it. I
think so too. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I'll just jump into the chat here. I can see we've got a few people typing away. We've got Crypto Flow. Greetings from Germany. Hello from. Hey, you're not too far away from me, actually. Germany, a European. This week, right? Because you're in Australia, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this week I've streamed with now Australia, America, China, Europe. Yes, I'm all over the place, and that's just in 1 week. It's great. It's good fun.
Yeah, good stuff. Worldwide tour.
Aldo Rio said, Stephen the Atropa CEO. There you
go. Definitely not.
Matt in Bali says, hello, Steve-O. The earlier, the better. The narrative, the story, the madness, the rotation, the glory. Personally, 90% of my PDI will stay in Pulse Chain. That's good. I like PDI. There we go. We talk about opportunity. Throw something at it. Just see. Not financial advice. Obviously, we're just 2 guys here on the internet having a chat. But I'd say it's absolutely worth a punt. And I would also say that the state Ethereum is also worth a punt.
I think it's. I'll ask you about that state Ethereum in just a second, but I think the thing that people aren't realizing with this, I don't know what the tax implications are for you, but in Australia, for example, if we hold something for more than 12 months, we don't pay tax on it. So what the idea that Matt can do here, and this is something that I personally plan to do with my PDI, if it ever pegs to $1, I don't plan on ever selling it. So there's this narrative that, everyone's just going to sell and run, or just sell out, or swap it into something else. But then if you swap it into something else, then you get taxed. So it's almost like people are going to really have to think about the calculation. If I end up having, I don't know, 1 million PDI, for example, and then I swap that, then I'm going to have, if I've had it for less than a year, if it pegs next week, for example, let's just say hypothetically, I'll have 450 grand of tax. So then how much more profit can I end up making, for example? So it's gonna make it really interesting how people are going to think about these things, whether they want to risk doing the tax or whether they'd rather just kind of sit on that and they know it's stable and they're just like, okay, I've made more money in this bull market than I ever thought I would already through this PDI. I might just leave it in here and just live off this yield. Like I'm already in the bear market. I'm already like got the bear market chill vibes without like watching my portfolio drop like what it did with NEXO, you know. So what was the ETH thing that you were saying there? Sorry.
Yeah, so the staked Ethereum, like the copy of staked Ethereum, I think right now it's around third. I don't even know what the price is now, but it's, I mean, it's like 30,000x to parity or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. Something insane.
Yeah, so it's, hey, again, like I say, not financial advice, but you know, look at these things. There's a decent community behind it, same as PDI. I think we're in this wave now of the P copies, you know, and as we continue to grow and as more protocols start to, you know, like I said, the infrastructure, once more protocols start to come over and have a look over here, and they're going to be interested. I mean, example, if Aave was looking over here at their P Aave and they were like, okay, well, let's have a little play on post chain, maybe next cycle or something. And they say, well, hang on a minute, how many of these tokens have we got, are over here? Okay, well, we're going to have to do something with that, because they'll say, well, they're ours, right? So we need to do something with it, even with Chainlink. I think Chainlink right now are not, they're not so interested in looking at post chain. I think it's probably just because we're so young, right? But inevitably, they're probably going to have to come over here, and that P-Link is a massive winner. I'm a big fan of Chainlink. But you know, I will say, yes, I hold some Chainlink. I love Chainlink. I think when they bring out their CCIP cross-chain, you know, interoperability, I think it's going to absolutely blow things out of the water for us over here on post-chain.
I love that concept too. So I don't personally have any, but I've always had a soft spot for Chainlink. I think they're doing awesome things. Anything that integrates all the blockchains, the better. Right now, it's like, well, it's like the mafia, right? Everyone's got their little blockchain, their little family, but eventually, it's going to be something where it's just going to be it will be all interoperable. So yeah, and I feel like actually on that, Pulse Chain's positioning itself better than any other blockchain in the way that we can seamlessly integrate with Ethereum. Is like, I think it's just going to put us a step ahead of the curve. So.
Yeah, big time. And actually, that's a good little segue into Mafia, as you were saying, right? So when we talk about our own little ecosystem, I mean, Mafia itself it's really its own contained metaverse. It's its own world, right? You have tokens which are traded on DEX, right? So that you have the Mafia token. In time, there will be the Bullets token and the Health token as well, which you can literally, you know, you can trade on them, you can speculate on them on the outside, no problem. But if you decide to bridge them into the Mafia game itself, that's when the fun starts, if you like. So there's going to be things like staking. So you can stake the tokens for yield. Inside the game itself, there is like in-game cash. And as of a couple of days ago, we launched an update. So now there is an actual ratio of Mafia token versus the in-game cash token. So everything in game, you know, everything you do from, I don't know, whether it's robbing a hot dog vendor or robbing a bank or stealing cars or, you know, smuggling and, you know, illicit substances and all that sort of thing. Everything that you would do in the Mafia world, basically, through a series of RNGs. Random number generators, you know, there will be some success, and if you get the success, you get rewarded in this in-game cash, and then literally all you do, bridge that back out to Mafia, and you are good to go. You know, right now there's over 50 different ways to get paid in the game. There's over 50 different things you can do. Yeah, I think, and I say this quite a lot, and I stand by it really. I think when people see the amount of money that can be made playing this game, I think a lot of people will be looking at like pretty much a full-time job. I mean, you can earn thousands and thousands per day by doing various tasks in the game. I mean, and the ultimate goal is to control the vault, right? The vault itself, you know, it's every action in the game, you know, there's small fees that are taken from people doing different actions, and it all goes into feeding the vault. And the vault actually pays out 10% of its value weekly to the top 5 families. And I think the vault right now, even though we're at early access, I mean, we're over $500,000 already.
Wow.
Yeah. there's serious money that can be made. I mean, the top family, I think at the moment, they're geared up to be earning around $10,000 a week.
In Pulse Chain, right?
On Pulse Chain, yeah. Well, actually, we're on two chains. We're on Pulse Chain and BNB. And then we do have plans for base chain for Solana as well coming as soon as we have this chain link. And then when we have this chain link CCIP, then literally, you know, Pulse Chain teams or Pulse Chain families can go to war with a family on base and vice versa. You can go over there and start to war and take all their assets. And I think the opportunity for onboarding then to people to Pulse Chain is phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. So in the vault though, what's the token that's in the vault? Like for example, on Pulse Chain, would it be Pulse Chain or would it be a token native? Oh, that's okay. So that's what I was asking. Okay, so it's Pulse that's in the vault. I mean, there you go. So so the top family is making $10,000 of Pulse a week. You said.
Yeah, I mean that's at the price of Pulse at the moment, and that's at the level of the vault at the moment. I mean, Pulse goes up. If Pulse does a 10x, well, guess what? Now that family's earning 100,000 a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have are you able to share like a screen of the front end?
Yes, I can, of course, yeah.
Gameplay or something? Because
I'll do that right now.
I don't remember seeing any kind of front end with it, so yeah, I'd love to see what the game actually looks like.
Yeah, so we're like I said, we're in early access at the moment. So we have a 12-step launch phase, and at the moment we're approaching step number 7, which is the map. So at the moment, what you can do in game, you can create your character. Creating a character costs 2,000 Mafia. On Pulse, that's about $1.50, I think. On BNB, it's around 50 cents. So you can create your character. Then what you can do, you can join a family, or you can create your own family. Obviously, the safety in numbers. The way that this works, so once you create your character, you're actually tying your avatar to your wallet address, whichever wallet you decide to sign up with, and every action that you do in game is basically to that character, to that character, in other words, to that wallet. If you are killed in game, then that wallet technically gets blacklisted from the smart contracts. So if you want to continue playing, you'll have to set up a new character and continue on. So, it's like a one life game. But if you are killed in the game, basically the person who killed you will get whatever in-game assets you currently have on you at the time, not including anything that's staked in the bank, the in-game bank or anything like that. Obviously, all of that stuff is quite safe. But yeah, so like I said, the safety in numbers right now we can see here. I mean, we've got 22 crime families and 1,055 players. The vault right now has 6.2 billion Pulse. Sorry,
is that between the two blockchains, or is that just on Pulse chain?
This is just Pulse.
Oh wow, okay, all right. So there's quite a few people playing it.
Yeah, there's quite a few people playing. Like the majority of this game, really, I mean, especially at the moment because it's in early access, it's actually played on Telegram, in the Telegram channels, because that's where people do their negotiations, they do their strategy. They talk to each other. Some of them are going to war already. Technically, they're promising each other that they're going to be killing each other out of the gate. In this game, it makes sense to. It makes sense for people to try and get along because, like I say, there's so many ways that you can make money. For example, in game or in our metaverse, there's 11 cities split across 3 continents. So you might have someone who is headquartered in Miami, and there might be another family who's headquartered in Medellin, Colombia. Obviously, the ones in Colombia, they might have access to certain narcotic which sells very well in Miami. So it will be in their interest as two families to set up a smuggling route that the Miami family would buy from the Medellin family because the product is cheaper down there. And then by the time they get it to Miami, they can sell it on the market for a nice bit of a price increase. That's just one of the things, there's you can smuggle different narcotics, you can smuggle, alcohol and tobacco, you can steal cars. You can, like I say, you can kill people. You can rob. I think one of the lowest level heist that you can do, I think you can rob a kindergarten. then next one up, you can rob a hot dog vendor. All the way up to robbing a bank, right? And yeah, and when map goes on sale, so at at the moment, the map is the feature that we're really waiting for.
Okay.
This is really where we show people what the world that they're going to be playing in really looks like. It's taken a while, obviously, because we're going through our stages to launch. So we've got 9 more days to go. When that happens, basically land goes on sale. And in order to get land, so in order to rank up your character in game, you need to purchase some keys, and then you open these crates. Okay, by opening crates right now, you get certain inventory items. So it could be inside the crates, we can see here that there are things like in-game cash, there's bullets, health, different shop items. So that could be some, some weapons, some armor. The NFTs we can get to a different time, notification credit. So because this metaverse pretty much just goes on and on, I mean, it's a 24-hour thing as long as the blockchain is there. I mean, the metaverse is alive, whether you're sleeping or not. So while you're away from your character, away from the game, you can get certain notifications. So if someone is trying to maybe attack you, or if someone is trying to steal something which is yours, we're going to have something like an email kind of system, like a Gmail kind of system in game. So literally you will get a notification from the protocol to say, hey, somebody's trying to attack you. You better come back and do something about it. Then you have things like various bodyguards, helper credit. So a helper credit is, like I say, if you're away from your computer, but you want to do, you want your character to continue to do things while you're not there, you can use these helper credits in order to do that. So every time you do a heist or you do an in-game action, you will be successful through, through the strength of your character and an RNG principle. So, certain actions have an easier chance. So, I mean, robbing a hot dog vendor will be a lot easier than robbing a bank.
Okay.
And the RNG will decide that. If you are successful, then there is a cooldown period before you can do that same action again. I mean, you can't just rob a bank, be successful, and rob a bank every couple of minutes throughout the day. But there will be a cooldown period. Let's say robbing a bank is a cooldown period of 2 hours. So you can set your helper credits to do that action for you every 2 hours. You don't necessarily have to be there yourself to do the action. And obviously you can imagine that if, let's say your success rate was let's say your success rate was 60%. Okay, so you go away for 12 hours. You've come back. Your helper credits have done this heist for you numerous times, and it's been successful 60% of the time. You've got quite a nice bit of cash sitting there.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So you necessarily don't have to do all of the actions yourself if you're not there. Then you can do things like you can purchase cars, you can steal cars, you can race cars. And with the cars, if you have a lower level car, because you can see here, when you actually open a crate, you would get one of these categories. Then you would have a secondary RNG draw, which tells you how, which level is that? Is it a car worth $5,000 or is it a car worth $500,000? If you have the low level cars, you can actually go to an in-game asset called a car crusher, and that car will be converted into bullets for you. And then obviously the bullets again are something which you can trade and you can take out of the game.
Okay.
So there's really a hell of a lot going on at the moment. This is really in order to rank up your character. To obviously the higher your character your rank is, the more successful or the more power you have to do certain things in the game. If we have a lot of people right now that are opening these crates and they're building up this massive inventory, and sometimes you will get duplicate things. You might get duplicate bodyguards, or you might get duplicates. You might have 10 motorcycles. So what you can do, you can go to our in-game marketplace, and you can sell those items to other characters. Some people maybe don't want to go through the trouble of opening all these crates. They might just go to the marketplace here and say, okay, I want to buy, what do we have here? I want to buy this Molotov cocktail. This character is selling it, so I'll go and buy it off them right now in order to rank up my character. And we have some people who are making thousands of dollars a week right now just by doing this, just by opening these crates, putting the items immediately on the marketplace, and selling them to other characters. I mean, at the moment, if we look here, we have a total of $300,000 worth of items have been sold at the moment. just on this marketplace, which indirectly, which indirectly makes this NFT marketplace probably the most successful NFT marketplace on Pulse at the moment. And that's just our little in-game marketplace, you know.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. So then when land goes on sale, land will also be inside these crates. And when land goes on sale, what we're going to see, because if you have a land tile, we call them land tiles. If you have a land tile, you can develop on top of that land tile. So you can start off with a shed, then you build a house, then you build a villa, and you can build all the way up to a hotel. If you have a hotel on your land, sort of like a Monopoly game, people will have to obviously stay in your hotel. So you will be earning city inflation yield, which is this in-game cash for having that item, as long as you can protect that item, right? I would assume that anyone that gets into that city developer position will be very high ranked character. They might be the don of a family themselves. And then they will literally just be earning city inflation from this bank. It's this, like I say, there's so many ways to make money in this game. It's ridiculous.
Wow. I mean, the fact that you've got over 1,000 players, I'm quite impressed by that. And the game's not launched yet. I mean, obviously, it's kind of progressively being released in stages by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got it's a 12 phase launch stage. And we're currently at number 7, the map. The map is, I mean, really, to create the metaverse is probably the most important and biggest step that we have. And that's why now that this is coming to fruition now, the remaining steps will be, just a matter of 10 days, 2 weeks each, I would assume. In the beginning, it was like that. There was a new update coming every 10 days, every 2 weeks. That was create your character, then do your family, then do the marketplace, then open the crates and all this sort of thing. The map has taken the largest amount of time because it's the largest aspect of the game. It's the visual part, is what people really see. And then after that, there's another few short stages. So I think by the time game goes live, the vault, I would say, well, the vault right now is at 6 billion PLS. When the land goes on sale, I'm expecting there to be a massive uptick on that again. So I've been talking to Giffordware, GIF from Pulsar.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So he and Kool-Aid have their own family here, and I was streaming with GIF, and we were doing some speculation on the size of the vault by the time the game goes live, and I agree with them. I mean, I think it's going to be 15 to 20 billion pulse by the time the game goes live.
Wow. So this is all coming from just people purchasing assets and things within the game, and that's going towards a vault?
Yeah, it's pretty much everything, So when people buy the Mafia token itself, there's some fees there that go straight into the vault. When people buy and sell on the marketplace, there's a little fee taken from the seller that goes into the vault. When you do an action in game, there's a small little piece again that goes into the vault. So it's everything. Pretty much every action. Pretty much every action in the game is used to try and keep that vault going, because, like I say, the top 5 families will get a payment from the vault, but families places number 6, 7, and 8, if the vault payouts every week are increasing, so there's an uptick, then places 6, 7, and 8 will also get a payment from the vault. If on a week-to-week basis that decreases for any reason, then there won't be any payment given to places 6, 7, and 8. So it benefits you to be in at least the top 8 families, but it makes real sense to be in the top 5 families. We have quite a few content creators right now that have their own families. I mean, like I say, we have 22 families on PLS on Pulse at the moment. Just click here, families tab. Yeah, so we can see here that the Yakuza are in the first place. They're going to, right now, the Yakuza family are geared up to be getting 186 million pulse every week from the vault, just as it stands at the moment. And then it's up to them really what they want to do with that. The don of the family might say, okay, 50% of it goes to the family, like the members, 50% goes into the bank to earn this yield. So there's really a lot of strategy involved. A lot of the families, then we can see here, actually, if we look, we have allegiance in the middle. So different families can group together for their own mutual benefit. You know, they can start an allegiance. If you have, if you're the Don of a family in one city and I'm the Don of a family in another city, and a trade route would be beneficial to open up, it would make sense that we would get on. So you, through an allegiance, you can actually do that. And even if you are one of the maybe the lower ranked families, but you have good access to something, or you have something that you can offer one of the larger families, if you do an allegiance with that larger family and they get a vault payment, they can also include you in that vault payment. They can just, you know, siphon something off for you. So even if you are not in the top 8, technically you could still get payments from the vault.
Wow. Hansi Crypto, is that would that be the
that is Hansi, the Grand Clan.
The one is Ultimate TA?
Yeah, that's Hansi, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the Don of the Grand Clan. They're a pretty decent family. Brissology is a member of the Trump family. Yeah, we've got a bunch. So the Gearheads, that's GIF and Kool-Aid.
Yep.
Their family. They're actually doing really well at the minute with their family. They've got super loyal family behind them. They're doing good things.
Because they've already got that sort of pre-community behind Giffordware. They've got that community going with their own token, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they've got, and obviously, I mean, Kool-Aid himself is like his day job. He's a professional game dev, so you know he really knows the aspects of how to play this game even before we do. You know, he sees 10 steps ahead of what I would see already.
Sure. Yeah.
We've got a comment here. Someone just commented. Spirit Falcon says, "Come and join the directorate, the best group to be involved in." Oh, he's trying to poach you. Yeah, for anyone out there just watching this, I mean, you can jump over. Actually, I will put this banner here, just so you can all see. So basically, you can create your character for 2000 Mafia, join a family, build your inventory. The telegrams are actually in that banner, so you can go over there, jump into the telegrams. If you're asking the right question, guys, then you know, the right family will find you. They really will. You know, they're actively recruiting right now. You know, you can get yourself into a family and start earning some of the yield that the family gets, which is kind of the way it goes forward. Who's that? I see we've got Kaiser in the chat. Spirit Falcon doing his job of recruitment. I like it. Hey Kaiser, how you doing? Disappeared for the summer, but back again. But that's great. Kaiser is actually in quite a lot of the Dev Jacob ecosystem protocols.
Oh, nice. Nice.
A bunch of it. Yeah, I'm just having a look through the chat here. Yeah, we got a bunch of people in here. Perfect.
Yeah, there's some familiar faces that I can see from my channel. So, and then some that I don't recognize. So they must be from your end of the woods. So this is, I mean, this is cool. This is great. Yeah, this is what it's all about. So
exactly right, exactly. But yeah, so that's kind of Mafia. I mean, it's growing all the time. You know, it's quite interesting because right now we have obviously Pulse Mafia and the BNB Mafia. A lot of the players are playing on both chains because the money exists to be earned on both chains. You know, one is just you're earning in Pulse, one you're earning in BNB. And then we have other families and other content creators who have created their own families, and they're quite chain specific. You know, so we have a bunch of people over on BNB who play around on the Binance Smart Chain, or they play around on Sui chain, or on Base, or you know, on Solana, and it's something like that. And then we have obviously the people over on Pulse, and I think the people over on Pulse, because we're kind of a Pulse and you know, hex orientated team. We kind of, you know, we are hexicans. That's kind of where we started. So I think the majority of the community that we have are Pulsicans, right? You know, we're here kind of over on this side. But the good thing is the more we grow over on BNB, people are saying, oh, you have the same game on Pulse. Okay, I'll come and play on Pulse too. So there you go. Boom, we've onboarded people. And as we start to do other blockchains, then again, boom, we're onboarding people. And because this game has so many different facets, I mean, like there's staking, there's yield, there's NFTs, there's, you know, there's all of this kind of thing, there's strategy involved. Even this game as an educational onboarding tool for people into crypto is fantastic. You can come over here, you can learn about staking, you can learn about real yield versus inflationary yield. You can learn what NFTs are and how they work. You know, you can look at all these different various things that you can do on chain, and it's all wrapped up in this little bow, which is a game. So once the gamers start coming over, they will learn about crypto, and once the crypto people start playing the game, they can learn about, you know, really the fact that, you know, gaming is, you know, it's a bigger industry than music and movies combined, right? Gaming is the way forward. Yeah. And it's inevitable that gaming is coming to blockchain in a big way. And I think if we can stamp our footprint and say, okay, well, look, we just happen to have one of the best metaverse games out there, and guess what? It's on Pulse Chain. Boom. Pulse Chain grows like we all want it to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the growing of the vault, you were saying every interaction in the game contributes to the vault. So is that because obviously when you interact with the blockchain, you're burning some gas? So every time that you're doing an action in the game or something, is there like a tax on that goes into the vault?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So there's a little tax pretty much on everything that gets done in the game, and all of that continuously goes to feed the vault. You know, buying the Mafia token goes. You know, taxes go to feed the vault. Buying keys, you know, to open crates. Again, some of that goes to feeding the vault. Doing these, it's obviously if you think about, people have said to me, okay, the barrier to entry is that, you know, I need to invest a lot of money in my character first so I can start to earn all this different stuff. But that's not really the case. I mean, I guess the barrier to entry is the 2000 Mafia to create your character. You know, you just have to be in. Once you're in, I mean, even as a pretty like a starting low level character, you could literally just go and, you know, like I said about the hot dog vendor, you can go and rob a hot dog vendor every 30 minutes throughout the day. And at the end of the day, you know, depending on the RNG, but, you know, you're probably going to be successful most of the time. You're earning money every day. So really, you know, you've spent $1.50 to create a character, and you might be pulling out maybe $10 a day. Maybe doing something small, you know. If you wanted to obviously rank up to do some of the bigger actions, like to do a heist, yes, you would need some weaponry. Yes, you would need some armor. You would maybe need some, you know, some bodyguards to protect yourself. But that's because the payoff is a lot higher on the back end, you know. Then you're talking about people who are maybe, if you were to do the heist action, like the bank robbery, every hour, every 30 minutes, or every hour throughout the day, yes, there might be a slightly lower RNG chance of being successful, but the payoff is a lot higher. So maybe, you know, you might have people who are doing that who are maybe earning $1,000 a day. You know, wow. So this, like I say, this, as much effort as you put into the game is as much effort as you will get out of the game. You know, you can literally just create your character and do something small, not really bother with it. You know, set up your helper bots that they will literally do these tasks for you, and you can just sit there every day and look at it like you're making passive income. Who doesn't like passive income?
Yeah, I really like that. I think because it's something I'd listened to. I'm sure you would have listened to Raoul Pal talking to. Are you familiar with Raoul Pal actually? Yeah, Real Vision, and he was talking to some dude that was like, the very first time where I listened to something about the metaverse, like Mana was my first Decentraland, but when I listened to this talk between who was it, Raoul Pal and I can't remember the dude's name, but in any case, they just did another talk just recently, and that guy was talking. He's the one that's like the expert in the gaming industry and the metaverse, and he introduced this idea of like where you're basically creating like some kind of AI, and you're just training the AI as your character to basically perform all these actions for you while you're away. So it sounds like you have that kind of a concept in here, which is really good, because people like myself or others who are time poor, we don't want to sit there playing a game. I mean, I used to play World of Warcraft, so I know what it's like to sit in front of a computer all day, and I played the shit out of that game. But, you know, now like this concept of it's just yield generation dressed up in something that is entertaining and fun, which is really cool. That's what I really like.
That's it. Yeah, and Kool-Aid actually come up with something, and it sounds a little bit salesy, but I mean it's true. If you're being paid to be entertained, you don't have product market fit anymore. Then you have perfect market fit. You're being paid to be entertained.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it. I like it.
Right?
I really like
Yeah.
it. Clever dude. He's a clever dude, Kool-Aid.
He is. Yeah, he is. He's 1,000 miles an hour. His brain works so fast.
Does he contribute to, like, so he's just a player? Does he do the players like help develop the game in any sense? Is there any kind of like feedback loop there, or?
Yeah, because we're in early access. I mean, the team are obviously open to suggestions, and because Kool-Aid is a professional game dev, yeah, he helps all the time. The community, even as the game is starting to progress now, the community have come up with some suggestions in the telegrams, and they've been implemented in the game. You know,
wow,
like I say, because it's early access, we have time to do those kind of things. And you know, the team are absolutely open and very responsive to good suggestions. I like to tell people, look, jump into the Telegram. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Like, jump in and just ask. You know, if the community will get back to you, and they will really help. You know, and that's what we love. I mean, I don't know if you've had a chance to actually look at the Git book. But
no.
I mean, we definitely don't have time to go through it today. It is, it's. I'll put it in the chat there for anyone. It's an all-encompassing Bible for this game. It basically teaches you everything, every aspect of the game. It even has some examples of the different types of RNG probabilities doing certain tasks, how you can develop your character itself. I mean, the number one thing I guess in this game is protect your character. Again, another Kool-Aid quote would be, treat your wallet like a character in a game. You know, you have to protect that wallet. You really look after it. You know, make sure you don't do anything silly, connect to bad websites, etc. But in this game, your character literally is your wallet. So, you want to rank up that wallet, make sure you have enough protection, make sure that you have enough weaponry, bullets, etc. Because if someone does attack you, you need to be able to make sure you can fend off that attack. Just like a computer game. It's perfect.
So are you hugely familiar with Axie Infinity?
I think this is something, it's going to be along the lines of Axie Infinity. I think people will be playing this like a job.
Okay. So is there, because that's one of the things that I've always been sort of very interested in the metaverse space. One of the problems with the Axie Infinity was basically the value of the token increased so much that it became like sort of it tanked. It was the opposite, rather. It tanked so much that it became, I mean, there's still like an economy going around it, but the economy was sort of, I suppose, I don't know how to describe it, but linear in a way, because once that token dumps, then it's not worth playing the game. So what's the token economy like with this? It sounded like there was a few different dynamics with the token economy, but is that something that you guys have thought about in the sense of how it's been flawed in the past with other kinds of games and how it's been sort of their demise? Have you guys, do you understand what I'm trying to ask? My brain's a bit fried. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, so we have the Mafia token. Right, Mafia token. You can speculate on the Mafia token. You can bridge it into the game, and you can earn in-game cash off of that. Right. So then we have bullets and health. Now, even if the token on the outside, by the way, there's only 1 billion Mafia tokens. 800 million are out there circulating around. 100 million is in liquidity pool, and then 100 million is in the team wallet for the future. When bullets and health come out, it's going to be vastly different, because if you think about it, in this game, people need to use the bullets. So you would purchase the bullets either off the market or off the in-game marketplace. Once you have those bullets, then you spend those bullets. So effectively, you're burning those bullets, and so new bullets have to be generated all the time for people. So that way in itself, those two will level out. It will be kind of similar as health, but we think that with the health bullets, with the health token, people won't be stocking up on health the way you stock up on bullets. I think it's going to be a retrospective thing. People are going to say, "Oh, I'm under attack. I need some health." You know, it won't be, I better stock up just in case. So, but again, with that, there will be a burning of the health token. The in-game cash itself, there's numerous ways that gets burned, obviously, because as you do actions in game, that needs to be minted and given to people. So then there's through another series of, you know, pretty much nearly every action again in the game, that token is also burned. So between these 4 tokens, if you like, 3 obviously can be traded externally as well. 1 is purely in game, but we'll have ratios to the other tokens. Through the series of the 4, everything balances out, and I don't think we're ever going to have an issue with, you know, too many tokens or not enough tokens or price action. Basically, as long as people play the game, everything is absolutely fine. I mean, obviously, the same as anything. If nobody's buying Hex, then, you know, it's pretty shit.
Of course.
But
it's more,
yeah, so
it's more of a circular economy rather than a linear one, by the sounds of things. Interesting. I like that. Cool. Yeah, because for me, that was always the biggest problem that I had seen with the metaverse games. It's like, yeah, once it's like you know, like a reward token that just keeps going down, and then you just get to a point where you're like, well, there's no point interacting with this protocol anymore because the reward token's just worth nothing. So if there's like this balance and harmony between these 4 tokens, and even speculating between those 4 tokens, then it makes it much more dynamic and sustainable, I think. So it's more of an economy, like a real economy. I like that.
Exactly. It's a full in-game economy. I mean, it's a real closed ecosystem in terms that everything kind of takes care of itself, but also the fact you don't even have to play the game. You can speculate, just buy the token and hold it, or you can buy bullets. You know, if the game is successful, I think that buying and speculating on bullets itself is an easy win. Like we talk about easy wins being around on post-chain.
It's a burn token.
It's a burn token, and people need it to play the game. If there are people playing the game, they need bullets. Like they need them.
Sure.
So it's almost like this little infinite payment loop. It just keeps coming because people need bullets, and bullets are getting burned all the time.
So just 2 more things from me. So the first one, the random number generator, is that something, because I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Atropa ecosystem, the dev Maria Rahel, and he came out and did a talk and said that he designed like the first, or created what he thinks was one of the first random number generators on the planet. Now, the random number generators, is this like something that's, whoever created this game, they also invented a random number generator? Is this something that's been around for a long time, or they created it for this game? Like how did that come about?
Yeah, so this is the same team behind PulsePot, right? You know, we're also the PulsePot team, and you know, like I say, PulsePot is the world's first truly decentralized casino on chain. It's players and smart contracts, and RNG is a massive proponent. I mean, we have things like roulette, we have a jackpot wheel, so RNG is a huge part. So basically, we're using our own RNG for that, for bringing it into Mafia for certain actions. But the reason that we're so excited about Signum Oracle, for example, and the RNG components that they might be bringing around is because for some of the more for example, the kill simulator, to kill someone inside this game, the game takes into, you know, it takes about 50 different types of certain levels of criteria in order for you to be successful in killing someone versus them killing you. You know, how strong is your character compared to them? Are you in the same location as that person? I mean, you can't shoot someone if they're on another continent. You know, all of these different types of things. And so an RNG component for something like that is the way that our head dev Jacob thinks about it is, we don't want anyone to come back to us and say, it's your own RNG. How non-biased is that? Your character just killed me. You know, this character killed me. I know that you're friends with that person in the real world. You know, so you need to, because if you think about it, you know, someone's character gets killed, there's a potential to be losing a lot of money. If you're successful in this game and you spent, you know, let's say you spent 6 months or a year ranking up that character, setting yourself up for success, and then someone comes along and kills you, we absolutely, you know, we don't want to be in a position where people will say, okay, you've done that because I know you know that person in real life is your friend. So in that case, that's one of the reasons why we want seeding. We want something completely decentralized that we have no hands in at all, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just curious, like, how did that random number generator actually come about? So like,
well, Jacob and team developed it for the casino project, so it's our own RNG. We developed it ourselves.
And even then, so from that perspective, based on like, so with the Pulse Pot, was there such a thing as a random number generator before this, or was this kind of like...
No, team built it.
Wow. So
yeah,
really,
the team built our own one on Pulse, but you know, we also have BNB Pot, which is launched on BNB. Sure. So it's the casino project, and over there we use Chainlink because, you know, Chainlink kind of really are best in class. Just they don't have a footprint over here on Pulse Chain yet, so we have our own RNG for the casino projects. For some of the lower level things in this game, like, you know, doing a small heist, robbing a hot dog vendor, etc., our RNG is perfect for that. It's fine for that. But something when it comes to some of the really bigger actions, again, like I say, we don't want, you know, we need to put ourselves in a position where there is no possible recourse if someone if someone does get killed, right? And that's just, you know, as a matter of fact, from our development team, I mean, I think that in itself shows quite a lot of integrity, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because obviously that's something that I thought, I mean, from my limited perspective, I thought it was something that was just recently invented by this Atropa dev. I didn't actually know that there was another one that existed. To be honest, even if there was one before your team that existed, I wouldn't have known. But yeah, the other thing that I wanted to say was I find this concept very interesting. And when we were talking earlier about the Atropa ecosystem, I don't know if you remember, Steady Pup was saying in the stream with Saint Wolf and Fast Abdul as well, like it's that whole thing is being built for this game that the dev is building out. So that game is there's no characters or anything like this, but you're basically at a point now, which is called dysnomia, where you're just interacting with a chat log. You're creating a token, and that token is your character. So that's the step that it's at. There's these different tokens, and there's like, you know, when you mint a token on, say, GoPulse, you'll just mint that token. So if I create Coexistence Steven token there, 1,000 supply, I'll mint that out. Whereas with this dysnomia, then you'll mint that token, plus you get 3 other tokens that have some kind of interaction with whatever game that he's building out. So it's really cool to see that, again, it just seems like we're really ahead of the game and on another level compared to other blockchains, which is really, really cool to see. So
big time. We have the people over here who are building, and we have some really talented builders. Really talented builders, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We're really, I mean, Pulse Chain is really setting itself up for success. You know, we're basically building the city before the people want to move in. You know, we're setting all the groundwork, doing all the infrastructure. Yes, we need a bunch of things. Yes, we need a bunch of, you know, people bicker sometimes about fork projects. Listen, if a fork project, if it works really well over on Ethereum and it's an infrastructure project and we need it over here on Pulse, please someone go out there and do it. You know, go and do it, right? We need the infrastructure. Like, you know, obviously forking memes, you know, okay, yes, we still need the fun stuff. You know, each to their own. Go and do that if you want. But I want to, you know, I want to lay the tracks. I want to be. That's what I want to be part of. That's why I love being part of this whole Mafia thing. You know, I want to be part of the infrastructure. I want to help as much as I can get it out there, because by the time people start to notice us, and it could be because of the Richard Hart court case maybe, but by the time people notice us, we need to have all our ducks in a row. We need to have the stuff that they want to do over here. We need it here. So if anyone's out there and if you have an idea to build something, anyone that's listening, go and do it. Just go and do it, man. If it works, it works. Just go and do it.
That's awesome. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. That's what DeFi is all about. Really, everybody just working together, and we're building a city together, really. Yeah. Everyone's just doing their thing. No rules, there's no rules, man. Anyone can just do what they want. So even though there's like
the community will tell you if it's a bad idea. You know what I mean? If it's something that really won't work, you know, you'll find out very quickly, because they will tell you. And you know, instead of saying, instead of going back and thinking, oh, no, standing firm and saying, no, my idea is really great. You guys don't see it. I mean, there's enough smart people over here. If it has some promise or some principle, they'll let you know. And if it doesn't, don't be butthurt about it. Go back and come up with another idea. That's it. Yeah, you have time. You have time. What else are you going to do? You've got the time. Go and build, guys. Build something really fucking cool. Put your thinking cap on and build something really, really cool, because we want it over here. We want it, and we need it. But we want it. We want. RH Max said something a couple of months ago, and it always stuck with me. He said, regardless of all the bickering and everything, but the post-chain community, we want nothing more than to win. And we're going to win because enough people want to win.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Both from a very rational perspective, that just literally people putting their time and energy into it, but even from a quote unquote spiritual perspective, which to me they're both exactly the same, that because there's enough mind power that wants to achieve those things, that we're just going to do it. It's just going to happen over time.
It'll happen. It will happen. And awesome. In the meantime, have fun and build cool things.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Perfect.
Hey, really, thanks very much for your time. We've gone an hour and 12 minutes. I mean, that's great. Yeah. Really, very nice talking to you. We should definitely do this again. Absolutely.
Yeah, likewise. Definitely. I'll reach out to you. I'll get a bunch of those links. I'll put them in the description. So I didn't actually put anything in the description for this. So, or maybe I'll just go to your the YouTube that you sent me and copy and paste that and put that in the description. So just so people have got somewhere to go, look at the game and the telegrams, all those kind of key links, that'll be really good. So if they're not in the description, I'll hit you up in DMs.
Yep, perfect. Guys out there, if you are from my channel and you're watching Stephen, go and subscribe to his channel. He's got some really cool stuff, and you'll like the way he thinks. I like the way he thinks. If you're from Stephen's channel and you're over here, thanks very much for listening to me yapping away for a while. Please like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You can find me if you want to reach out directly. It's KvltDeFi pretty much everywhere. KvltDeFi on X, KvltDeFi on Telegram, KvltDeFi on Gmail even. You can find me anywhere. I always say my door's open. There's no such thing as a stupid question, guys. If you want to get involved in Mafia or any of the other protocols that we do, just reach out. I'm an open book. I'll answer what I can, and if there's something I can't answer, I'll endeavor to find an answer for you. It's kind of it, really.
Love it. DeFi mind.
That's it. All right. So, guys, thanks very much, and I will catch you all in the next one.
Giffordware, it's an honor.
Got an anonymous tip, boss.
This is it. We stage the heist tonight.
And keep an eye on Kool-Aid. He's been known to water the plants.
Let's keep the plants out of this and focus on the job.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.